Scorpio, there is a pattern that has appeared in your life before, one you recognized, one you survived, one you thought you had moved past. And by the end of this video you will know exactly what that pattern looks like, why it keeps returning, and the 11 signs that confirm it is happening again right now. This video is not meant to alarm you. It is meant to give you something far more valuable than alarm: awareness. Because a pattern you can see clearly is a pattern you can finally change. A pattern you keep missing or ignoring, or hoping will resolve on its own, is a pattern that will continue to cost you. Scorpio, of all the signs, you have the inner resources to face whatever keeps returning in your life. You are not afraid of the depths. You are not afraid of what is uncomfortable. What you sometimes are afraid of is the moment of honest recognition, the moment when you look at something clearly and see it exactly as it is rather than as you wish it were. This video is that moment of honest recognition. Stay with it all the way through. The 11 signs you are about to hear will feel familiar in the way that truth always feels familiar. Like something you already knew but had not yet fully admitted to yourself. Let yourself know it now. Let yourself see it clearly. That clarity is the first step toward finally doing something different. Sign 1. The first sign that a familiar pattern is happening again in your life, Scorpio, is a specific kind of emotional exhaustion. Not the ordinary tiredness that comes from a busy week or a restless night, but the deeper, more persistent tiredness that comes from repeatedly managing something that never quite resolves. You know this tiredness. You have felt it before. It has a particular texture to it. A heaviness in the chest, a weight behind the eyes, a feeling of going through the motions with something in your life while a quieter, wiser part of you wonders when things are actually going to change. The pattern, when it returns, brings this exhaustion with it because the pattern is, by definition, a repeating dynamic that consumes energy every time it cycles through without ever fully completing. Pulls something from you. It asks something from you. And because you are Scorpio, because you do not do things halfway, because when you commit to something or someone you give it real effort, the exhaustion is genuine. It represents real investment that has not been returning real reward. The first sign is this tiredness. Not the tiredness of someone who needs a vacation, but the tiredness of someone who has been trying to solve the same equation for too long with the same approach, waiting for a different result. If something in your life right now is producing that specific familiar flavor of exhaustion, pay attention. The pattern is telling you something. It is saying that more of the same effort is not going to produce a different outcome, and the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can genuinely rest, not by ignoring the issue but by finally approaching it in a new way. Sign 2. The second sign that a familiar pattern is repeating is something that shows up in your internal monologue. The running commentary you have with yourself about a particular situation, a particular person, or a particular area of your life. And the sign is this: you have had these thoughts before. Not similar thoughts. These exact thoughts. The same concerns, the same questions, the same quiet worries, the same moments of wondering whether things will ever actually shift. The content cycling through your mind about this particular something has a quality of repetition that, if you stop and honestly notice it, feels more like a rerun than a new episode. Scorpio, your mind is sharp. Your memory is long. When the same thoughts keep returning, when the same inner arguments keep playing out, when the same conclusions keep being reached and yet nothing changes, that is not coincidence. That is a pattern that has wrapped itself around a particular part of your life and is cycling through its familiar sequence again. The second sign is the déjà vu quality of your own thoughts about something specific. That feeling of having been here before in your own mind is information. It is the pattern recognizing itself. And the moment you recognize it too, consciously, deliberately, is the moment you can step outside of it rather than continuing to live inside it. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Sign 3. The third sign that a familiar pattern is happening again is found in how a particular relationship or dynamic makes you feel, and specifically in the gap between how you hoped it would feel and how it actually feels when you are honest with yourself. Scorpio, you understand people. You see beneath the surface. You can read between the lines of what is said and what is meant. And sometimes, precisely because you understand so deeply, you can also explain away things that do not sit right. You can see the why behind the behavior that hurts you or disappoints you, and you can use that understanding to justify continuing. You can tell yourself a very intelligent story about why things are the way they are, and use the sophistication of that story to avoid the simpler truth that this is not what you need. The third sign is the gap, the persistent, quietly painful gap between what you hoped for and what is. When you notice that gap has been there for a while, that the story you tell to explain it keeps needing to be revised, that no matter how much understanding you apply, the felt reality of the situation does not improve. The pattern is there. The third sign is recognizing that your understanding of why something is difficult has not been translating into the situation, actually becoming less difficult. That recognition is not defeat. It is clarity, and clarity is precisely what you need right now. Sign 4. The fourth sign that a familiar pattern is repeating involves the way you respond to warning signals, or more specifically, the way you notice them and then move past them without fully acting on what they are telling you. There is something in your life right now that has given you a signal, maybe more than one signal. A moment that felt off, a response that landed wrong, a quiet inner alarm that went off and then went quiet when you did not act on it. In Scorpio, you noticed it. You always notice. But noticing is only the first half of what the signal is asking you to do. The second half is responding to it in a way that actually changes something. The fourth sign that a pattern is repeating is that you are currently in the noticing without responding phase. You are aware that something is not right. The signal has been given, but something, loyalty, hope, comfort with the familiar, fear of disruption, is keeping you from acting on what you know. The pattern continues not because you are unaware of it, but because you are aware of it and have not yet moved from awareness to action. The fourth sign is the gap between knowing and doing, and the invitation of seeing it clearly is to close that gap. Sign 5. The fifth sign that a familiar pattern is happening again is a very specific feeling that arrives when you imagine the situation 12 months from now. When you project forward and try to envision this particular area of your life, this relationship, this situation, this dynamic unchanged, how does that feel? If the answer is a quiet dread, a heaviness, a sinking quality, if the honest answer is that you cannot quite get excited about a future that looks like a continuation of the present, the pattern is there. And it is showing you something important about where things are actually heading if nothing changes. Scorpio, you are a realist at your core. You can see clearly when you allow yourself to. The fifth sign is permission to look clearly at the future trajectory of something specific in your life, and to let yourself feel the honest response to what you see. Not the hoped-for response. Not the response you think you should have. The real one, because that real response is information. It is the deeper self commenting on a situation that the surface self has been managing and rationalizing. And the deeper self in you, Scorpio, does not lie. If the projected future feels like a continuation of the exhaustion, the gap, the cycling thoughts, the pattern is active. The fifth sign is your own honest sense of what is coming if something does not shift. Sign 6. The sixth sign that a familiar pattern is repeating is one that Scorpio may find uncomfortable to acknowledge. You have been making yourself smaller to accommodate something or someone. Not in a dramatic, obvious way. In the subtle way that only Scorpio can do. Holding back a need here, softening a boundary there, quietly adjusting what you say or how you say it or what you choose to bring up and what you let go. On the surface it looks like adaptability or patience or maturity, but underneath it is a kind of self-compression. A narrowing of who you fully are in order to fit into a space that is not quite sized for you. The sixth sign is the accumulated weight of all those small compressions. It shows up as a vague but persistent sense of not being fully yourself in a particular context. A sense that the version of you that exists in that space is a reduced version, a managed version, a version that has edited out the parts that feel too much or too strong or too real for the dynamic to hold. When Scorpio starts making themselves smaller, it is almost always a sign that the pattern has returned. Because the real you is expansive. The real you does not compress easily, and any situation that requires sustained self-compression is one that the pattern has built and is maintaining. The sixth sign is the smallness, and the recognition of it is the beginning of reclaiming your full size. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Sign 7. The seventh sign that a familiar pattern is happening again is found in the presence of a very particular hope. The hope that the other person or situation will change on its own, without you needing to do anything more than wait. Scorpio is patient. profoundly, remarkably patient. You can hold space for a long time. You can believe in potential that has not yet materialized. You can see what something could be and stay present to that possibility long after other signs might have moved on. That patience is a genuine gift. But the pattern often takes advantage of it. The pattern survives on the hope that change is coming, that just a little more time, a little more patience, a little more understanding will be enough. And sometimes that hope is accurate. But when you look honestly at the evidence, at the actual behavior, the actual responses, the actual trajectory of the thing over time, and the pattern of not changing has been consistent, the hope has become a way of staying rather than a reason to stay. The seventh sign is when the hope for change has been present for a while and has not been met with corresponding evidence of actual change. That is not cynicism. That is honesty. And Scorpio needs and deserves honesty. Even from themselves, especially from themselves. Sign 8. The eighth sign that a familiar pattern is repeating is something that shows up in your physical body. A recurring tension, a returning tightness in the chest or shoulders or stomach, a physical signal that keeps arriving in a specific context or in relation to a specific area of your life. Your body, Scorpio, is extraordinarily sensitive. It carries the truth of your experience, even when your mind is busy constructing stories. And when the body produces the same tension, the same physical response in the same context time and time again, that is not random. That is the body confirming a pattern that the mind may still be managing or excusing. The eighth sign is the physical one, the familiar tightness that shows up, the breath that catches, the stomach that tightens, in the presence of the specific thing or person or situation where the pattern lives. These are not dramatic symptoms. They are quiet, reliable ones. And they have been present before. You have felt them before. The body is showing you the same sign it showed you the last time and the time before that. The difference now is that you are ready to recognize it for what it is. Sign 9. The ninth sign that a familiar pattern is happening again is a quiet sense of isolation. A feeling that there is something in your life that you cannot quite explain to anyone else, that even the people who know you best would not fully understand, that you are handling alone in a way that has become very practiced and very private. Scorpio is naturally private. You do not share easily. You carry a great deal alone not because you have no one to turn to, but because the depth of what you carry is difficult to translate. But when the isolation around a particular thing starts to feel like a habit, like a well-worn groove, like something you have been handling privately for too long, the pattern is there. The ninth sign is in the practiced aloneness around a specific thing, the way you have learned to carry it quietly, to not mention it, to present the surface of the situation to others while managing the reality of it privately. That aloneness over time becomes part of the pattern's infrastructure. It is how the pattern sustains itself, by staying in the dark, by not being named or spoken about or examined in the light of another person's honest perspective. The ninth sign is the isolation, and naming it, even just to yourself, is already beginning to break the pattern's hold. Sign 10. The 10th sign that a familiar pattern is repeating is the presence of a very quiet inner voice, not the loud, analytical voice that has been busy explaining things and constructing narratives, but the much quieter, older, deeper voice underneath it. The one that does not use many words. The one that simply knows. And what this quiet voice has been saying, if you sit still enough to hear it, is something simple and honest and gentle. It has been saying that you deserve more than this. It has been saying that what has been offered here does not match what you are worth. It has been saying, calmly and without judgment, that the time for repeating this particular chapter may have passed. The 10th sign is hearing that voice, recognizing it. And this time, this particular time, in this particular window, choosing to listen to it more fully than you have before. The voice is not new. It has been there throughout the entire duration of the pattern, but something in you is more ready now. Something is more willing now to hear it and act on it. The 10th sign is that quiet voice, and it is speaking clearly. Sign 11. The 11th sign that a familiar pattern is happening again is perhaps counterintuitively the most hopeful of all the signs. You are watching this video. You sought something out today, something that speaks to awareness, to pattern recognition, to honest self-reflection. And Scorpio, you do not do that by accident. You do not seek out truth randomly. When you go looking for clarity, it is because some part of you is ready for it. The 11th sign is your own readiness, the readiness that brought you here, that kept you watching through every one of these signs, that let you hear each one without turning away. That readiness is not something the pattern has given you. The pattern would prefer you stay unready, stay unaware, stay in the familiar cycle. The readiness is yours. It belongs to you. It is your deeper self asserting itself, claiming the right to see clearly, to know the truth, to finally step out of a cycle that has run long enough. The 11th sign is you, right now, in this moment of honest recognition. And that recognition is not the end. It is the beginning. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift. Or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are. Scorpio, the pattern is visible now. You have seen all 11 signs. And now you know what you have always known but perhaps have not fully let yourself act on. Patterns do not change on their own. They change when someone decides, consciously and clearly, to respond differently. That decision is available to you right now. Not tomorrow. Not when the circumstances change. Right now. The version of your life that exists outside this pattern is real. It is waiting. And you are far more capable of reaching it than you may have yet allowed yourself to believe.